Welcome back to the channel, guys. I am your host, Zach, and today we are looking at the Condor TNT pouch as we have it fitted out into a survival kit, maybe a chest rig. Got some hooks here to attach it onto your main bag. So let's crack into that today on Airborne Outdoors. And so here we are, having it all filleted open, trying to get our 10 C's of survivability covered, and just having that spare survival kit attached to your main bug out bag or your utility belt or your chest rig or something like that. It's not going to be all inclusive, but it's going to have all your main bases covered. So let's get into that. First off, biggest piece in the back pouch here, we have that SOL Sport Utility Blanket. Nice little piece of cover. Get you out of the rain, get you out of the wind. Can you could wrap up in it. You can use it as a ground cloth. Even has it shown here using as a wood hauler. But just a big tough chunk of reflective cover that it's going to be useful in a lot of situations. So that's our main piece of cover, and then we had room up in this slot here to add just a Mylar blanket. So I figured if you got that as your roof, your lean-to, you got something to wrap up in, or at least maybe lay on the ground, or lay your boughs down, cover up with the foil blanket, or even in one of those situations where you're just going to use this and just huddle up quick, getting out of a little sprinkle or something. So some decent cover options in such a small kit. You can only fit so much stuff in a kit like this. So there's our cover. Let's look at, let's just go piece by piece here. Part of our fire kit, have that reflective that reflective duct tape on there with the electrical tape. So you kind of have a more inclusive lighter. Of course, it works as a lighter, and you have some extra tape. And then to go along that with our fire kit, we have that what is this thing called again? The Strike Force. Like I said, I've always liked this thing. It just fits into these kits well. And you got a nice big chunk of ferro rod, and it protects itself, being self-enclosed like that. And then I have jute twine in there now, but if you pull this out, because it's a bunch, you have a pretty big cavity down in there. You could easily fit some Tinder Quicks, or I've put like a wet fire in there, but anyway, I could really pack a lot of jute twine in there. So as far as being able to spark that up and getting your bird's nest built, and that's going to be a great benefit to aid you in catching that first little spark. Because if you've seen this jute twine fluffed up, it does catch a spark quite quickly and easily. Especially if you're in wet conditions, you have just a bit of dry tinder in there at least. So there's a couple of our fire options. Let's just go straight across here. This is just about 15 feet of 550 paracord. And again, you're in a smaller kit. Got your main kit, but you got a nice little chunk. So it'd be plenty to set up a ridge line for that shelter, for that lean-to, or you carve out some stakes and you want some little cordage to tie things off. But of course, it has its 7 inner strands. So like if I gut this out, it's still 200-pound paracord, just gutted. And then you got 7 strands of 50-pound cord times 15. So it really is a lot more cordage than it looks like. Next in line here, we just have a quick and easy little repair kit. I just have the one needle stuck down in there. We got the green thread there. It's heavy duty thread. And then I have some micro paracord, about 10 feet of it wrapped around there. So we just have some more cordage options and repair options there. For our light, we just went with the Coast G20 little pen light. It's a little spotlight. It's plenty to light up the area of digging through this bag. It is this the rechargeable? No, this ain't the rechargeable one. This one has two AAAs. So that'd be easy to, usually in my main pouch I have spare batteries or my electronic kit to have all my spare supplies. Some extra lighting, just a full-size chem stick. If you ever, if it's really black out, really dark out, being in the military, you really learn to know the difference. Like a full moon feels like it feels like daylight compared to, cloud cover in the middle of the night on a really dark, stormy night. It's just black. You get out far enough away from civilization and you can literally not see your hand in front of your face. This thing really, if you had a shelter built and you crack this and hang it up above it, it's like a lantern. It lights up the whole shelter easily. So let's just keep going in order here. We have our little Silva compass. I like this one because the mirror in there, so it points north very well. Got my declination. If you don't know how declination works, you're on north, and let's say you declinate it 20 degrees or 10 degrees, whatever, 15 degrees. Then you point your red arrow to north, and then north is not the red arrow. North is the arrow of the compass, and so it's just offsetting our magnetic north to where the actual North Pole is, because the Earth is wobbly and rotating and stuff. Jet Scream signal mirror. Again, this pouch is, you can see it fits quite a bit of stuff. I didn't use up all the organizational aspects of it because you just have tons of loops, and then the smaller loops, and then a big pouch, and over here you have even bigger loops and more smaller loops. It's just not possible to put something in every loop, but it gives you all those great options. And then back here you have a zippered pocket as well, and we'll get to that. Have another full-size signal mirror in here, just dedicated. While your finger's out, put that airplane right there. Look at the airplane through there and make the light flash between your fingers with the plane in the middle. And so you're fully extended and you're going like that. And that is bright and can be seen for a long ways away. Back more to our fire kit, we just have that utility flame pack. Nice and compact, flat, slides right in there. You got your bird's nest going, and you just can't. It's a little damp and it's catching a spark, but it's not lighting up. Soak a half a pack of this on there, kind of work that in that bird's nest, and it's gonna burn hot and long. Little mini first aid kit. Same thing I had in that other kit with the dude wipe and the gauze pad, the band-aids, the triple antibiotic ointment, the alcohol prep pads, and there's a couple other. There's like a burn ointment and maybe like an antacid or something in there. Here's something I don't put in all my kits, but because I do have another knife option back here, and I'm kind of preferential to the Swiss Army knives. This is a little big for maybe pocket carry. I have carried this because if you look at like full size, like I carry this. I was carrying this yesterday. I just had it on my belt. It's humongous. It's way bigger than this, and it's just as heavy or heavier. So it's not as big as it looks, but for a kit like this to be able to, it's compact and it has just a ton of tools in there. And something I really like compared to a lot of the other Swiss Army knives, you actually do have a pliers. And of course you have your knives and your saw and your scissors and your screwdrivers. And something else this one has that I like is that little magnifying glass, to possibly start a fire. I actually have a small magnet stuck on here just because you never know when you might need a little magnet. Help stick something to something. Your reamer awl, your corkscrew, and of course I got the plus scales in here. So I got you got your toothpick and your pen and your tweezers, corkscrew. You got the little pin down here. So it just has a lot of options for a kit like this to, it may not be the be all end all, but it's definitely packing a lot of functionality in a small space. So, and that is the Swiss Army knife Champ. Great knife. I think those things are like $100. What is this? The Frontier emergency filter. I've actually never used this one, so this one's nice and brand new and still ready to rock and roll. You got your hose you plug on there, and boom, you're all set. And it's only good for like, I don't even think this thing is supposed to be good for 50 gallons, but like I said, as being just part of your chest rig or your, you know, just a part of your main pack, it's fairly complete. It's going to get you through, I mean, even let's say it's only 10 gallons of water. I mean, that's enough for a week to keep you alive. And on top of that, we've got a little more. We got 2 Whirle pack stand-up 1 liter bags. Quick and easy way to disinfect the water. And a 10 pack of aqua tabs. So we put 2 of those tabs in one of those liters. Let that do its magic for about 30 minutes. And of course follow the instructions and you're good to go. So then all we got left here in this Condor TNT pouch is this back zipper pocket. We just have a couple things. I have the UST waterproof notebook and pencil. Definitely get the job done when you want to take some notes. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Be the first one to see all of my brand new videos. Speaking of that, guys, we are just about, we will definitely crack 500 subscribers with this video. So please do your part to support your airborne buddy wearing the airborne tattoo, the AA, which has been confused in my life. It is not Alcoholics Anonymous. It is All American, the 82nd Airborne Division. So we got, that's the 82nd Airborne Division patch. And you don't have to believe I was there. I know I was there. And I only say that because some old drunk guy at a bar one time damn near tried to start a fight with me, but I hadn't even been drinking, so it wasn't really fair. But we got the point across that I am airborne. Of course, I found a way to get my new knife into this smaller kit. You know, I was looking at my Rat 3 and some other knives because I was trying to fit them across here, and I realized something nice about this knife. Also, not only that it's compact, but that its sheath is compact. Because some of the other knives, I could fit them, but their sheath was too big. And I was like, well, let's just go back to that. And again, it's a cheap backup stainless steel. Like I said, I can't find the stainless steel. Little Ozark Trail. This thing is $7, guys. It's less than $7. What's the disadvantage of stainless steel? It doesn't hold the edges long. Okay, you got to sharpen it more. But for our purposes, you know, especially in this smaller side pouch where you're like, oh, I got separated from my kit. I had this on my chest, on my waist. I'm stuck out for the night. Storm's blowing in. You know, you're not gonna be, you know, chiseling stone with this thing. You're cutting paracord and carving some feather sticks and getting a fire going, and it's just your basic campcraft knife. This thing is going to get it done. So I'll leave something like these Whirle pack stand-up bags with an affiliate link in the description box just to see if you guys have an easier time finding it there. And then let's finish off this kit. We do have our favorite piece of cloth, our little UST survival bandana. Let's open this thing up a little more than I usually do. Of course, it's going to work good as just an orange signal flag. You know, you got instructions of how to use your mirror, which I kind of went over a little while ago. Uses of the bandana, which I like that being on there. You have like check your gear. You have some shelter options. Keep warm with the rule of threes on there. You got water and you know how to keep hydrated and why. How to find your directions. Anyway, great piece of cloth. Just love it. You know, what is it? Maybe 2 feet dang near. Nice little chunk of cloth. And then last but not least, just because I was thinking maybe this kit is something that you got separated or lost, that you might want a little more signal. And so we have that that aviation signal flag. And I did a little more research. You know, this is used for different reasons. For different reasons, as far as like signaling aircraft for like resupply and just where to land, and wind, more like a windsock for like helicopters and things like that. But definitely a small enough package compared to like a VF17 signal panel, which is much larger and not going to fit in a kit like this, where this little signal flag fits in there great. Maybe this is something I can practice, leaving a link in the comments as well, and see if you guys have any interest in that. So there's the kit, guys. Kind of made a little mess. That ain't part of it. Fits in that Condor TNT pouch just great. Speaking of that pouch again too, I'll try to leave a link to that pouch in the description box and in the comments. And same with the SOL support utility blanket. You know, these are just things that I feel like you're never going to regret owning. Like, this may not ever be your main shelter option, but it's always just this flat. It's in that medium range where it's not a Mylar blanket. It's just, you know, it's way bigger than that, but it's not a whole grabber space blanket or a heavy duty shelter option. It's just something in between, just a middle perfect little backup option. So guys, let me know what you think about the video. Like I said, this is the push to go over 500. We got to get some watch hours in, so don't forget to just turn the channel on and hit play all before you go to bed. Appreciate all your likes, shares, and subscribes, guys, especially those comments. If you just give me a thumbs up or a hey, I like the video, I would change this, like this, let's do that. Appreciate it so much, and I will see you again on Airborne Outdoors.